Any last words?
Today, we'll recap a 2013 movie titled No One Lives. Please be aware that there will be spoilers ahead. The film begins in a dark, deep forest, with a young woman screaming and running barefoot for her life. Emma Ward, an heiress, tries her hardest to run but ends up stepping on jagged glass fragments. She boldly removes the fragment and resumes her sprint. However, a trap captures her as she approaches the road, suspending her in mid-air. Screaming for help, she uses the shard to write Emma alive on the bark of a tree. The scene shifts to Betty and an unnamed man named Driver traveling across the country. Betty is agitated because they have to keep moving, and she blames the man sat next to her, who appears to be trying to cheer her up. Before the night falls, the couple decides to stay somewhere and relax. The driver arrives to a nearby motel, greets the receptionist, and hands over his credit card as payment. However, the driver's identity is unknown, and the receptionist refers to him as strange. Later, while watching television in their room, the couple discovers news about Emma, the missing girl from the previous episode. According to the story, the detectives arrived at the tree Emma had marked, and the carvings appeared to be around 6 months old. We may also see Betty's abdominal scar, for which her partner apologizes. The scene changes to a group of burglars, led by Hogue, taking a house. The thieves include Hogue's brother, Ethan, his girlfriend Tamara, Denny, and Flynn, who is mainly worthless but stays in the gang because he is Hogue's daughter's lover. While they are robbing the house, the owners unexpectedly appear. The wealthy family returns to their large estate, but their happiness quickly turns to horror when they spot the group of robbers. When the father realizes they are in danger, he attempts to call 911, but before he can do so, Flynn opens fire on them, killing the entire family. Hogue is angry by the unnecessary carnage and yells at him for killing them because the sound of shooting must have alerted the cops. The scene transitions to Betty and her lover, who asks her for dinner while she is in bed. Betty is furious and proposes that the driver contact his other lover. The pair then goes out to dinner at a gorgeous restaurant near a gas station. Hogue's daughter, Amber, serves them inside the restaurant before Hogue and his group arrive. Flynn, the most worthless gang member, spots Betty sitting with her boyfriend and decides to make a move, sauntering over to their table. Betty tells his boyfriend to ignore him, but then warns Flynn to get lost. Flynn was outraged and couldn't handle the rejection, so he began bugging Betty. The physical struggle between them almost begins, but before the driver can make a move, Hogue and his crew arrive, forcing Flynn to flee. Hogue apologizes to the couple and instructs Flynn not to defecate where he eats. The couple's anguish does not end there, though. On their route to the motel, Flynn cracks the driver's window, resulting in a car crash. Flynn steals the couple's vehicle and drives away, mistaking them for wealthy individuals carrying valuable items. He believes they can gain the driver's bank code and other information, and he tries to involve Hogue and his brother Ethan in his malicious plans. But Hogue becomes infuriated and threatens him that one more bad move would result in his death. As the driver and Betty slowly open their eyes, they find themselves trapped at a gas station, their wrists bound to a chair. Ethan appears and holds a sword to Betty's throat, threatening to murder her. However, Betty seemed to have had enough of living with the driver. She tells him that she will see him in the afterlife and places her neck on the dagger's blade. The driver grows upset as he witnesses the scene and strikes Ethan with his chains. But by the time he's done, Betty has perished. On the other hand, Flynn continues inspecting the driver's vehicle, where he uncovers his wallet and a few dull documents. Soon after opening the trunk, he discovers 2 holes in the wall with eyes gazing out from behind them. The finding of a female hidden behind a wall in the car's trunk surprises him. Flynn and Tamara get her into the house while the others watch from inside. When the two bring her into the house, Hogue and the others make their way downstairs after hearing the disturbance. At this point, the girl starts shrieking at them, imploring them to go as far as they can. She claims that the owner of the vehicle she was in is dangerous, meaning that the driver is a bad person. She then notifies them that the driver is on his way to murder everyone without a trace. Amber appears unexpectedly, claiming that they were unable to contact Ethan, and the girl is certain that Ethan has already died at this time. Denny and Tamara follow Hogue's instructions and head to the gas station to check on Ethan. Denny and Tamara are astounded by what they find when they arrive. They are stunned to find Ethan's bleeding and lifeless body on the ground. They also find Betty's dead body, but the driver is nowhere to be found. The two then loaded Ethan's lifeless body into the van and went back to their hideaway. Inside the house, Amber gives the girl her clothes to change into, and we observe scars on the girl's body that match those we saw on Betty earlier, implying that Betty was the driver's next victim. Amber remembers seeing the girl on TV before. And it is revealed that the girl is Emma Ward, who appeared at the beginning of the film. She is a wealthy heiress who went missing after 14 of her friends were murdered at a party, and the driver is held responsible for the deaths. The most important news is that the Ward family is offering a $2 million reward for any information leading to their daughter's return. Denny and Tamara arrive with sad expressions on their faces, delivering the awful news of Ethan's death. Hogue grows outraged after witnessing his brother's death and pledges to pursue the driver at whatever costs. After Flynn and Denny transport Ethan's dead body to a shed, he awakens unexpectedly, but we are surprised when the driver emerges from within him. Emma attacks the gang members and attempts to flee, but Hogue stops her. Emma sees the driver standing outside, covered in blood. She then tells Hogue that she will wait until the driver has killed them all. After cleansing his body, the driver goes to his truck to change his clothes and prepare his weapons. When Hogue and his team go outdoors to find the driver, a steel arrow strikes him and pierces his chest. Denny was also injured by the driver's previously placed traps. Flynn and Tamara begin shooting indiscriminately because the driver has set up several traps, but they are quickly forced to retreat. Denny begins to fear as he loses blood. Tamara and Flynn disagree because Denny requires immediate medical attention. Just then, the driver smashes their van, leaving them with few options but to fight. Driver emerges victorious after apprehending Hogue, but his desire for vengeance is far from satisfied. With a cold, calculating sparkle in his eye, he subjected Hogue to excruciating suffering, thrusting him into the merciless teeth of a meat grinder. Hogue writhes in agony as the driver explains that he is not a serial killer, but rather a psychopath who prefers to kill in groups. Subsequently, the driver drags Hogue into the grinding machine, killing him. Back at home, Amber queries Emma about why she is the only one left alive, to which Emma says that the driver may have fallen for her. In the flashback, the driver locks himself in a room with Emma and asks her to save his life. After telling Emma this, he demonstrated how to save his life before cutting an artery in his neck. Emma subsequently admits she was the one who saved his life. After the truck explodes and Hogue dies, Amber and Tamara fight. But before the conflict can develop, someone knocks on the door, forcing the gang to look into the situation. However, as they exit the entrance, they notice a sack hanging outside. Flynn investigates more, and Hogue's ring appears to be hanging from the sack. When Flynn sees this, he becomes agitated, and when he kicks the bag, Hogue's flesh falls to the ground, horrifying everyone. Danny and Amber then plan to depart in a broken Jeep from their garage. They get safely in the garage, but when they try to start the engine, the Jeep malfunctions, forcing Danny to walk outside and fix it. However, just as Danny finishes mending the automobile, the driver appears and unleashes a violent attack on him. Amber is horrified and escapes to the woods after witnessing this. The psychopath continues to pursue her before stabbing her with a blade. Flynn and Tamara were unable to save Amber when they heard her screams, so they chose to leave the nightmare. Tamara raced to rescue Danny when she saw he was still alive, so they agreed to bring him together and drive away. Later, while driving the Jeep, Flynn unexpectedly collides with Amber, killing her. They then drop Danny off at the hospital's front gate before continuing their getaway from the driver. The gang decides to stop for the night and arrives at the Highway Motel. The receptionist became suspicious when Flynn presented the driver's credit card to pay for the hotel. He calls the sheriff, alerting them to the strange and possibly illegal activity taking place in front of his eyes. Later, as Tamara was showering, Flynn began harassing Emma. Emma, sensing the tension, quickly excused herself and went to the restroom. Tamara came in to assist, offering Emma her revolver for protection. Just then, Flynn barged into the restroom and roughly dragged Emma out. At that vital moment, the sheriff came at the motel and confronted Flynn, asking that he confirm his identification. In a surprising change of events, Flynn replied by killing the sheriff with a single shot. Meanwhile, the driver stormed into the restroom and cruelly killed Tamara. When Emma spotted Tamara's lifeless body, panic gripped her, forcing her to run. Flynn chased her, but the driver of the sheriff's car slammed with him, knocking him to the ground. Emma, fueled by desperation, began firing at the driver, her gaze fixed on him, but just as victory appeared within grasp, her ammunition ran out. With her heart beating and no other options left, Emma realized she had no choice but to flee for her life. However, the driver pursued her persistently, his perverted mentality compelling her to submit to him. Emma's survival instincts, however, compelled her to lash back with a metal pipe. Just then, Flynn appeared on the scene, shotgun in hand, and fired at the frightening apparition. In a single second, the driver dragged Emma out of harm's way and took the bullet himself. Miraculously, he survived, protected by his bulletproof vest, sparking a heated battle between the two guys. They engaged in savage hand-to-hand combat, each motivated by desperation and a desire to survive. As Flynn prepared to take aim at the driver, Emma took the opportunity, knocking him down and grabbing the shotgun, eager to alter the tide of the confrontation. She insists that she is the only person who will murder the driver. Emma's heart raced as she aimed the shotgun at the driver, but she was unable to kill him since she had failed to insert the new bullet into the shotgun. The driver, amazed by Emma's bravery, approaches her and assures her that she is now free. He then takes a knife and cuts through Emma's stomach, removing a tracker that had been used to track her throughout the film. Emma is helplessly lying on the road when the driver pulls out his gun again and savagely murders Flynn. Unfortunately, the receptionist observed everything, giving the driver no choice but to destroy her as well. The following day, he heads out for his final destination, the hospital where Danny is being treated. Armed with a clipboard, he approaches Danny and ends his life, stating ominously, "No one lives," signaling the end of Hoag's crew. Meanwhile, a news reporter discovers that Hoag's has been keeping Emma captive all along. As the driver witnesses the hospital staff transferring Emma on a stretcher, he experiences a moment of kinship. Before leaving, he softly rubs her hand, and the film concludes with this poignant moment. Thanks for watching. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe for more of these recaps. Until next time, have a nice day.